Hello and welcome to the latest episode of From This Point Forward, a Buffalo Sabres comedy podcast. I'm Louis G here with Chris Plumer, Ryan Mira like normal. Ryan's in a great mood. We're all happy. It's going to be an awesome show. Let's go.
Acknowledge the fact that in one of your favorite movies of all time, you thought the slogan was "Ducks quack forever" instead of "Ducks fly together."
You also think they live in wells. It's the whole theme of the movie, Lou. But he had the duck call.
They go quack.
It would be Malcolm Subban, mostly because that one season where instead of letting him play for the Sabres for the last game of the year, they had him sing the national anthem. And it was a real, you're under contract, the season is over. We know you've only gotten to be up here a couple of times. How about you come back up here? Oh, great, I'll put my pads in the car. No. You won't need them. Just make sure you warm up the pipes when you're driving down the 90.
Mitch Marner.
You heard it, Mitch. If you want to sign here, you can drill Ryan's mom.
Huh? Am I just proving my worth as a production genius or what?
You're just sick of Robbie Goo knocking on the door for $5 every time you play the Goo Goo Dolls song.
The last 3 episodes are only available in Bangladesh and some other small countries. So I did want this one to be more available to the masses. So I finally cut the Goo Goo Dolls out of the open. And come try me now, Robbie. We're good
Far
to go.
From the reach of the Warner Music Group and their lawyers.
I can't wait till he just retweets this later. Finally, now he's promoting it. What is going on? I mean, Ryan, how you doing today? I don't want to take your.
Oh, that's a loaded question. I'm all right. I'm hanging in there. I'll start with this. I was amazed by the end of that Game 7, the Jets and Blues. I mean, can you just a couple of angles here? First of all, you got to feel for the Blues fans. I mean, you're 1.2 seconds away from moving on in the first round, and I mean, just the heartbreak there. And then once that goal goes in, you have to know you're losing in overtime, right? So, really an amazing game, and it just reminds you how great playoff hockey can be. If those lucky bastards who get to watch it in person.
Chris, thoughts?
Agree. I only got to watch the overtime, which was fantastic. I looked at the score. I was out. I looked at the score with 2 minutes left in the third period and was just like, oh, okay. It's going to be St. Louis. And then got home and got to watch what we all want to see this time of year. Would I like it to be the Sabres? Absolutely. But I've got my 9s up. I'm excited. But, any Game 7 overtime action is just an instant classic.
I not to repeat what my friends have done on air earlier, but our friend Mike Shope and on WGR today were asking, would you take that exact season next season if you could sign up for that St. Louis just had? Just make the playoffs and lose in that fashion, lose in the first round, Game 7, lose in overtime, same way, heartbreaking fashion. But would you sign up for that right now?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the saying to get your heart ripped out means that you actually have to have a pulse in the first place. And I don't have one of those right now. So that means I would have a pulse. I would have a heartbeat. And listen, sure. I need to feel something again. The last time I felt something during a Sabres season was the tank year. And I loved that season. That was the most fun I've had since the playoff years. But, I would sign up for that right now.
Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. Lose to the worst playoff goaltender of the past 20 years. That's classic Sabres, baby. I'm taking that loss for us.
I can't get there. You and I were talking about this the other night. Like, I can't get there because I'm still watching some of these playoffs. I'm watching this Winnipeg team, and the Sabres have a better roster. I'm sorry, you cannot convince me that they don't. They may play differently, and Winnipeg's a tougher team. All that, I get all that. Like, you can't, but they are not a more skilled roster than the Sabres roster, outside of goaltender, which in the playoffs doesn't matter. But you can take all the thing. But I watch the things and I'm like, no, this team is just as talented or more talented than some of these teams, especially up front. And I'm like, no, I think that they can get there and go on a run, baby. It's always magical around these parts when they do get in. And I mean, can you imagine being Rasmus Dahlin hearing like this environment for a playoff game? He hasn't gotten anywhere close to it. The most exciting home game he's played is like a game when we were 6 points out in March, and then everybody got there one Saturday night and convinced themselves they were going to win and get close. And then every one of those games the last 3 years they've lost, by the way. But
I just love how, coming from a fan of a team who hasn't made the playoffs in 15 years, you're like, damn it, I know it. We're better than the Winnipeg Jets. I don't care what anyone says. We are better than the Winnipeg Jets, a team that we would never play in the playoffs and until I guess the finals. But I get your point. That style of team. This is why it's just so amazing that it's not happened in 15 years. Like, how have we not just dumb lucked into getting into the playoffs? It's unbelievable. Can't believe That's all right.
Were you going to say something, Chris?
That you mentioned the stumbling in, and I think last episode you were talking about puck luck, and I was thinking that entire like overtime was St. Louis would come in and they would shoot like on Winnipeg, and it would bounce off of somebody and go 20 feet away from the net, and it was like, every time I've ever seen that happen against the Sabres in the last like 3 years, it somehow finds the back of the net. And it really made me feel like this team is cursed. And the fact that they haven't even been able to back in to a last wild card spot is it's even more sad than getting your heart ripped out in double overtime of Game 7 of the opening round.
So you'll take that heartbreak over it. I don't know. I'm now, I've told you, and I'm famous in the New York Times for it. Don't want to brag, but I gave up my season ticket. So I will be watching it from afar. So I I'm not going to give myself too much credit from being one of these fans, but I'm going to believe that there's better days to come. This roster's good. I believe it. Levi is tearing up the AHL playoffs. I'm back in. I'm back in, baby. Let's go. October can't come soon enough. I'm sorry. What was that, Ryan? You want to know what it would be like to see Chris sing Blues Traveler?
Once upon a midnight period, with something in my head. I couldn't escape the memory of the phone call and of what she said. Like a game show contestant with a party gift, I could not believe my eyes. When I talked through the book from the trusted friend who needs to humor me and tell me lies. Yeah, humor me and tell me lies. But all I do and say I don't mind.
Whoa, huh?
We are struggling to fill episodes for him.
What I missed with that, an excellent kazoo player. He just busted out the kazoo and everything. Really got in character for this show.
Harmonica, can't play a
the
lick.
harmonica. I said the kazoo. I'm sorry.
You did.
Well, the Sabres have had a void at the national anthem singer ever since Malcolm Subban was done. So little do you guys know, I'm going to send that as Chris's audition tape for the Sabres national anthem.
It's been all downhill from Doug Allen and Malcolm Subban. So, and forget you. Kimmy Clune is just fine at singing the national anthem. Sorry, Chris. No replacements needed. Any other thoughts? What are your major takeaways? Let's start with you, Chris, from round one. Like, what was your most surprising takeaway or the most surprising winner?
It's not most surprising, but I mean, I was texting you. I was flip-flopping every time I'd watch 5 minutes of game. I was like, the Colorado Avalanche are the worst team I've ever seen in my life. You know, that I think that the way that series ended after Colorado going up early on, just classic fall apart in the playoffs, go away from your game, and not to take anything away from the Dallas Stars because they played incredibly well. But I mean, watching Colorado try to run a foot race against Dallas was probably the most surprising thing I could have seen a team try to do in the playoffs.
Yeah, it was a great. I mean, for me, out of all 8, it was the best series, best hockey. You know, and I know it's it's easy for me to say that because it's like the highest scoring, but it wasn't just that. It wasn't just the goals. It was just a really fun, entertaining series. Ryan, biggest prize or takeaway?
Well, just quickly on that Colorado Dallas series. I mean, it was an interesting storyline with Rantanen too. Obviously, being scoring in Game 7. He kind of, I don't really think he was mistreated by the Avalanche. It seems like he kind of overplayed his hand with the contract negotiations and then got shipped off and whatever. He's here now. It's funny to think that, both Dallas and Winnipeg, we're down 2 goals in the Game 7s and they're now the teams that are going to be meeting in the next round. So my takeaways are that Louis is really smart. I know he wanted me to say that, so let me just say he's really smart for getting all of his predictions right. And he's also very humble because it's not like I saw like 8 million tweets or anything about how right he was on all of his predictions. But I do have to give you props because when we first started the show and you gave your predictions a couple of weeks ago, I said that it was harder to nail the Stanley Cup playoffs than it is to get a bracket in the NCAA, March Madness. And so far, your picks are looking good. So I'll give you credit where it's due there.
Yeah, 8 for 8. Thank you for saying that. I will send you the Venmo after the episode. Yeah, I had Leafs in 6. That was I think all the way right. I'm kind of going up, but Panthers in 5, Canes in 7, Caps in 5, Stars in 7, which was right. So Vegas in 7, a little bit earlier, Oilers in 7, a little bit earlier, Jets in 6, a little bit later, but nailed them all. So let's try to go perfect all the way through my little bracket here. Let's talk a little bit about round 2. Let's do each series, seeing that there's only 4 series. I'm going to start with Stars Winnipeg. I have the Stars winning in 7. That's what I picked in the beginning of the playoffs. I'm going to change that a little bit. I'm going to bring it down to 5. I just think Winnipeg, after what they just went through, after what we've seen from Hellebuyck against that great team, Morrissey's now injured. Winnipeg's kind of banged up. I can't see them hanging with the Stars. So as much as I thought Hellebuyck would keep them in this series possibly before the playoffs, I've seen enough. Stars in 5. I'll go with that. Chris.
If you asked me before, I probably would have been thinking when you said 7, I thought you were sticking to it. 5 is more than what I'm thinking, and I'm going Dallas on this one too. It was a wonderful ending, the kid born in St. Louis gets to score the eliminating goal against the Blues in double overtime in front of a raucous Winnipeg crowd. Hellebuyck should never play in the playoffs ever. Ride him through the regular season. He's reverse Jordan Binnington.
He did get it together yesterday, which they could have easily moved on to Comrie after that second goal. Those were 2 horrible goals again. And he was totally out of position on that first one. Second one's a weak one. He would have loved back. And they could have easily went to Comrie, if not right there at the start of the second period. They stuck with him. He doesn't let up another one. Or one more, sorry. Right. But
do it twice in a row, though.
Go ahead.
I agree with you guys. I'm going Stars. I'll say it's going to take 6 games. It's hockey's weird, so could Hellebuyck play good? Play really well for one game or 2 games in the series and get them some wins. Yeah, sure, I could see that happening. With the other series in the West, I'll just quickly go to that. Vegas and Edmonton. I still think Edmonton is going to go to I think they're going on to the finals. So I'm going to pick them. We'll say 6 games as well. Who would have thought, how many years later, 10 years later, we finally get a McDavid Eichel playoff series, and we had fucking Jack Eichel playing for a team that didn't even exist in 2015. I mean, how bad of a job do you have to do for that to happen? I mean, whatever. Anyways, go Oilers. All right, let's go. And future Sabre Connor McDavid, he's gonna come back after he wins the cup and bring all of his experience and nobody else with him.
Chris, who do you got in that series?
I want Edmonton to win, so congratulations, Vegas. I feel like this is one that could go the distance. You got 2 teams that can pour it on in the last 2 minutes of a game. Like, if either one of them are down 2 goals with 2 minutes to go in the third, they have a shot. So I think this one might turn into a slugfest.
Did you say Edmonton though, or did you pick a winner?
I mean, I want Edmonton.
Okay. Are you pick a winner?
I want Edmonton, so I'm picking a winner of Edmonton.
Edmonton is 7. Okay. I'm gonna go Edmonton 2 and 6. I just think that team is obviously loaded up front. Kane's addition, I think a lot of people aren't talking about, but he's coming in and playing good. He played good hockey right away and scored some big goals for him even last series. So I think that's going to help. They got to get goaltending right. They had to go from Skinner to Pickard already. He's played all right, but that's going to need to, again, get some of that puck luck. But I'm going to go Edmonton in 6. I feel pretty confident about that. Moving on to the East, I'll start here. I'm going Toronto over Florida in 6. Maybe easy to say when they're up 3-1 in the second period right now, but I had that. I had it on Twitter a month ago, so don't worry about that. But
Toronto notoriously not known for blowing later.
Yeah, exactly. Like that would not. That's what I'm saying. Like that means nothing when you're talking about the Leafs. So, I'm pretty confident in Toronto this year. I think they're going to be playing for the Stanley Cup. So, if Florida, Chuck back and all that, and they obviously played great last series, but I'm going to go Toronto in 6. Chris,
I think I'm going to go Florida. I'm going to go Florida 6 on this one. I got scared during the last Toronto round of here we go again. After our first predictions, I expected them to go further. and prove me wrong.
Yeah. Rye.
All right, I'm gonna go Toronto as well in 6. Think they're the better team. I think history is not going to repeat itself. I think they're going to get over the hump and make it to the finals of the East. And of course, as you may remember in the other series, I'm going to go with the Caps. I picked them to go to the finals. I still think that's going to be the case. I think they're kind of like one of those sneaky teams that flies under the radar a little bit, and then you look up and they're playing the Oilers in the Stanley Cup final. So I'm going to go Caps in 6 as well. It's a popular number. I think between the two series, I could probably see the Toronto one going 7. I mean, that could be a fun series and really feels like a coin flip.
Yeah, I'm going Carolina in 6 here. Again, this is a little bit of probably a little bit of recency bias. And when I say recency, I don't mean this year. I mean the last few years where Carolina has just been obviously a well-oiled machine, and Washington's had a lot of up and downs. I just think Carolina is a lot better defensively. A lot has to be what were you going to say? Go on.
I was just going to say, have you considered the fact that Alex Ovechkin is Russian and he is boys with Putin, and maybe he's buying off, the Carolina Panthers, the Carolina Hurricanes, they could be bought. I mean, come on, he's sending over, he's like buying them. I think we're going to be looking at the greatest sports what's the word that I'm looking for? Controversy in all time. It's gonna come out that the Hurricanes were receiving payments from the Russia state to throw these games, and because listen, Alex Ovechkin, it's the year he breaks the record. I mean, come on, he wins the Stanley Cup that year.
I kind of like that. I get all that. I like that. I think it ends here. I hate like rooting for Carolina. I'm not rooting for Carolina at all. I just think that they're a really good team. They obviously lost value in the whole Necas Ratnin, now Stankoven thing. They kind of got screwed in that whole ordeal, but I still think that they're good enough here to beat the Caps. Although, spoiler alert, I have the Maple Leafs rolling over them next round. But go ahead, Chris.
I'm all on board with Ryan's bribery from Mother Russia, especially since Carolina has a Russian goaltender. Just saying. But
nice. They even have the most important piece, a guy on the inside.
Yep. It's been in the works for years. I kind of like Washington in this one. I think the goal chase all season made us forget how consistent they were all year. Especially even that, 6 weeks that Ovechkin was out at the beginning of the year. Like they're a solid team all the way through. And I like them a little bit better than the Hurricanes in this one.
All right. Well, we shall see if I continue my perfection through this round. Next, I wanted to do something fun because I know we've all played some level of hockey. I'm going to assume Ryan was the best out of the 3. And the only reason why I'm assuming that is I have never seen Ryan play. But I have seen me and Chris play. And so it's a pretty good bet, I just know that there's a good shot that you are probably the best. So I'll give you your first shot here. Don't make it too insidey, don't be calling, referring to your boy Shorzy. But what's your funniest hockey story, whether it be from you playing or kind of anything? You got a locker room story, you got something funny that from your days, even if it's now beer league.
Sure. No, the first one that came to mind when we were going to talk about this, it's from my youth hockey days. So when you're playing hockey and you're in like 6th or 7th grade, right? you go to Jamestown to play a game. Like that is a trip. You're in the car for what feels like 3 days and it's only an hour and a half at most, right? But you are, driving out to Jamestown. Okay, I got the gear in there. I'm listening to Limp Bizkit, hyping myself up in the car on my, the CD. And I get to the game, and in the first shift, I get a checking from behind penalty, which in youth hockey is a 2 and a 10. And these are shortened games. So I have to go sit in the penalty box. I drive to Jamestown for what felt like a 3-day trip. And I get into for the first shift, and I'm pissed. I'm sitting in the penalty box. I can see my parents are sitting and watching the game. And so I get out of the penalty box, and I immediately so I go on the ice, and so I go, and I'm a defenseman. And so I'm at the point, and the puck comes back to me, and I launch a shot. I'm just I'm letting all my anger and frustration, how I had to sit for basically more than half the game, and I hit this kid in the hand. Okay, and I found out it broke his hand, and I felt pretty terrible about it. But my mom, after the game, wanted me to go and find this kid's number and call him and apologize. And my dad found out about that, and he's like, Dad, this isn't tiddlywinks. We don't have to call and apologize. He's playing hockey. He just took a shot. It's fine. So that's my favorite story. Sitting in a penalty box in Jamestown, taking a shot, breaking a kid's hand, and then not apologizing.
Did you ever call him? You never called him?
No, I mean, it was one of those if it was a local team and I'd known the kid or something, probably, but
I imagine him sitting on a couch like the dude from Billy Madison, just putting lipstick on, just waiting for your call. You call and he crosses off the kill list. That's really funny. Chris, you got a fun one to share?
Oh man, so many tales of hockey. I could tell you the story about how Sabretooth blew out my knee in between periods at the Odd when I was 9 years old and ruined my whole career. There was also, this isn't the full story, but when I was playing high school, there was a young woman on the Orchard Park High School team, and I was like a seventh defenseman. I was a healthy scratch most games. So this was the only girl in the league, and we would be on the ice mostly at the same time, meaningless points of games. And I remember they would always dump the puck in for her into the corner, and I was on defense. It would always be to my side. You also have to remember, I was 300 pounds in high school, way too big to be playing hockey. And this girl was 5'3", 80 pounds maybe. And I swear it was always on purpose. And I would just have to slowly skate in the corner with my arms up. And I'm not going to hit you and murder you, but I also can't let you embarrass me. So I just kind of hug from a distance this stranger so that I wouldn't be embarrassed by a girl.
That's so funny. That's good. I imagine it in a movie, like a slow motion, from the girl's perspective of you just coming at her. That's so great.
Just the Jaws music playing in her head.
When I first texted you guys the idea, I kind of had to come up with, I had a few things come up over the couple days, but I have to go with the first thing that came to my mind. And when I was I started late in life. I did not get on ice skates until I was 11, so most people are on ice skates for 3 and 4. So now I'm starting hockey when guys are flying. They've been playing for 7-8 years, and I'm learning how to play, and I'm playing house league. They can't kick me out, and so yeah, I don't even think Happy Gilmore was a movie yet, but I was Happy Gilmore. I sucked. I would knock somebody down on accident every once in a while. When I did, I would I would lean over and be like, yeah, you like that? Take 10 seconds. I'd be offsides. It was so exciting. It was a total shit show. But I'll never forget my dad coming to watch a game, and he was there, and I don't know how I had got the puck had just like I was never in the right spot, and not because I was a pretty smart player. I played watched a lot of hockey, played a lot of hockey. I just could never. I knew where to be. I couldn't get there quick enough, But I was in one of those situations where I was, luckily 10 strides ahead of anybody else. Puck squirts out of the zone, and it's like just laying at center ice like it's a penalty shot. I mean, that's how far people are behind me. I'm just going. I could get on my knees and get down there with the puck before anybody catches me. I skate right by the puck, try to stop, fall over. My dad just screams, "Bring the fucking puck!" as loud as he could. It's so embarrassing. Just 12 years old. Just, oh my God, he's here. I think he left. And actually, that's the last time I've seen him. Oh man, it's so embarrassing. But so I had that to do that. But then when I filled out the title here, I put funny hockey stories, and I was like, oh shit, what did I text them? Us playing or just because I do have one bonus. I'll do a Ryan Mura here and do a bonus thing. If we want to talk about my most funny Sabres related moment, this is a good story. And Chris, you may have heard this. I don't think, Ryan, you've ever heard this. Back in the good old days when we made the playoffs, my father and I had season tickets. We were playing against Pittsburgh Penguins. I was calling him Mitch Hedberg, but it's not Mitch. Who the goalie was Hedberg.
Johan
Hedberg, the Moose. They call him. He was a rookie that year, came out of nowhere. Think that was the year the Kasperitis beat us, to be perfectly honest. Kasperitis beat us in game 7 here locally, whatever. This wasn't the game. It was earlier in that series. My dad was always one of those believers. If you give up something, the gift has to be worth something, yada, yada, bullshit. I hate him for it. But he gave the tickets to my sister and my brother-in-law. So I'm like, during the playoffs, dude, seriously, that's when we're going to be nice to people. My sister didn't even like hockey. What are we doing here? So anyways, long story short, I'm 16. I bought my own ticket. I was a little bit weird, as you guys can probably tell from knowing me for as long as you were. Liked a little bit of extracurricular stuff. I was young and stupid. So I bought a single ticket, and I had the idea to wear my Grim Reaper Halloween costume to the arena. And I made a sign that said, "We're hunting moose." Had nothing to do with the Grim Reaper. What does that have to do with anything? How does that even, I don't even know how that even intertwined. But so now I'm here by myself, 16-year-old kid in a Grim Reaper outfit, meaning with a sign that doesn't connect to the thing. No one understands it. I don't understand it now. No one gets it. I'm sitting in my seat alone wearing a Grim Reaper outfit, totally in the shittiest seats I can get, which is away from my good seats. I'm like, what? End of first period comes, and you do that thing when you're walking out of the aisle. Everyone's walking out, so you're kind of at a standstill. You're waiting for the aisle to clear. And I yawned. I go, and I went like that. And the woman behind me thought I was trying to steal her purse, because why wouldn't she? I'm a 16-year-old dressed as the fucking Grim Reaper. I deserved to have that type of negative connotation towards me. But me being, I was like, what are you talking about? And seriously, I mean, whatever. I would tell you guys now. I would spill the beans. I think I'm past statute of limitations. But whatever. And so I was like, what are you fucking talking? And her boyfriend got all weird with me. He had come back, and I was just like, oh no, the boyfriend wasn't there. She thought that, and I walked away. I went back to see all my sister and my brother-in-law. I was like, you wouldn't believe what these people thought I just tried to do. And blah, blah. I go back to my seats. The boyfriend's there. He's getting in my face now. Now I'm, defending myself as the Grim Reaper, by the way, still full costume, yelling match with this guy about how I wasn't trying to steal his girlfriend's thing. Security comes. I'm telling them that I pay their salaries. My dad buying season tickets. I'm telling them how I pay their salaries. They throw me down. They throw me in handcuffs. They're dragging me out in handcuffs as the fucking Grim Reaper. Yes. All the meanwhile, I'm screaming, I didn't take my medicine today.
Oh my god!
Dude.
I honestly, dude, the scene was incredible. I mean, did you get any like cheers? Like you have a cops like dragging the Grim Reaper, like just on the aesthetics alone. Like you might be like giving a couple, yeah, like all right, we got.
It was during the period, and there weren't. And again, this is so many years ago, but I remember it not being very active because it was playoff time, so everybody was really in their seats. So it wasn't like crazy in the thing in the hallways. But I always do think about that, like the 40 or 50 people that did see that, like they still got to be like, remember when that fucking Grim Reaper dude got fucking arrested at that playoff game? Like that's their moment for life. So this is the best. So now they bring me down. They do all this questioning. My brother was a CEO at the time, and I was like, I told him the story, this and that. I mean, they had me marked up pretty bad. They roughed me around. I probably deserved all of it. But when my brother-in-law came down and did like all the cop things, like, how do you know that he did this? Probably, asked all the questions that I, should have asked or not been a dickhead about. They realized how much they messed me up and really like jacked me. And we ended up sitting the rest of the game in a suite. They brought me, my sister, my brother-in-law up to his suite, like hoping that I didn't sue, I think, whatever. It's a crazy story. Go on. You have questions.
Did you keep the Grim Reaper costume on this suite?
I honestly, I can't remember. My sister would have had to make me take it off. I can't imagine. Like, can you imagine me just sitting in the suite, just all mad that I'm, but I'm in the Grim Reaper outfit. They put me on the jumbotron of this pouty face Grim Reaper.
Do you know, seriously though, my favorite part of the story, you have to back up all the way to the beginning. It's the face on the security guy who is trying to put like 2 and 2 together as to whether to let you in. He's like, all right, he's dressed as a Grim Reaper. That's sketchy. But this sign, we're hunting moose. Like, what does that even mean? I don't understand this. All right, you can go ahead. You can just go through.
It's so weird. Like, I would love to tell you that, it might have been hunting moose. No, it was that because for 10 years, I was like, what the fuck did you mean you're hunting moose? Like, seriously, I still question myself. It's going to be in my memoirs. That's really funny. Well, I'm glad that we did that. All right. For this next thing, I'm going to do like a thing where I'm going to give you clues. We'll do this like each week through free agency, where I'm going to list you clues about naming this unrestricted free agent. Get it? So all these clues will be about one of the unrestricted free agents that are out there.
Okay.
All right, you ready? Well, I'll give you the first hint for the first guy. This guy was picked 4th overall immediately after a Calder winner, a league MVP, and a former 50 goal scorer. Any guesses? All right. Second clue. He has 162 career goals.
Cody Hodgson. So hold on before you go.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's got to be. I think it's an older guy. Although 162 career goals is not that many. Strome?
Wrong.
With 150 goal season.
No.
No.
Not with 150 goal scorer. The first.
He
was picked 4th overall.
Mm-hmm.
He was picked after these 3 different players.
Okay.
A Calder winner, a league MVP, and a former 50 goal scorer. Those were the 3 players that were picked before him.
I think I know who it is. Isn't it Mitch Marner?
It is not Mitch Marner.
That was going to be my first guess just because we've been all over Mitch Marner.
I'll give you the next
Mitch
one.
Marner fan podcast.
Yeah, I think he went 4th. And I'm pretty sure he went 4th.
He may have, but that was not him. And he has a lot more than 162 career goals. Ryan. Anyways,
right, well.
Next clue. He has won 1 Stanley Cup and 1 Four Nations championship.
so he's Canadian.
Good job, Sherlock.
Hey, listen, you are criticizing that, but that is a fact that was
That is a
not
fact.
immediately well known. All right.
That was fact. I got one more clue
No,
for you. So,
damn,
and then
give us a
that's it.
second to
Then you'll
think.
have to guess, or even with all these accomplishments, he didn't even make the top 10 in Calder Trophy voting. So a little bit of a slow starter. I'll go through him again. He was picked fourth. He was in his draft pick before him was a Calder winner, a league MVP, and a former 50 goal scorer. He has 162 career goals. He's won a Stanley Cup and a Four Nations championship. Even with all these accomplishments, he didn't even make the top 10 in Calder Trophy voting. I'll give you a little bit. Oh, go ahead. You got a guess?
No, I was just going to say, I tell you what would help here would be to know one other unrestricted free agent other than Mitch Marner.
That would help. That would help. I should have told you to bring up the list of UFAs at least.
I'm going to do that anyways.
Yeah, bring up the list of UFAs. I will add to one of these clues. He has won one Stanley Cup and one Four Nation championships, both this year.
Oh,
Sam Bennett.
is it Sam Bennett?
Sam
Yep.
Bennett. There you go. That's good. All right. You just needed an extra clue. No big deal. All right, dude. I have in my notes, I have next is blank the guy, and I literally was just gonna read it straight up. It's like, well, that's that game. All
The
right.
Grim Reaper.
The next guy. As a rookie, he played on a roster with Stefan Yell, Darcy Tucker, Russian Soleil, and Adam Foote. Lots of old guys. In his rookie year, he finished third in Calder voting, to second place Jimmy Howard, and first place Tyler fucking Myers.
Oh, dear Jesus.
Now in his 13th season, he is on his 5th team and is still currently in the NHL playoffs. With 371 goals, he's had 4 30-goal seasons, his most recent being this year at 34 years old. As a rookie, he played on a roster with Stefan Yell, Darcy Tucker, Russian Soleil, and Adam Foote. In his rookie year, he finished third in Calder voting to Jimmy Howard and Tyler Myers. He is now in his 13th season. He's on his 5th NHL team and still is currently in the NHL playoffs. And with 371 goals, he has had 4 30-goal seasons, his most recent being this year at 34 years old.
Are we trying to run back Taylor Hall?
We're not trying to run back Taylor Hall. I'll add a little bit of note to each clue until you come up with it. That first team that he played on as a rookie with Stefan Yell, Darcy Tucker, Russian Soleil, and Adam Foote was the Colorado Avalanche.
Oh, I know who it is then. Is it Matt Duchene?
Matt Duchene is the answer. You guys got it quick enough each time. One bonus clue each time. Not bad. We'll have some more fun next week with that. Before we go, I have thought of something fun too, but it's kind of going to be on the spot a little bit. But we're going to do who has scored. Should we do goals or points in the drought era? Like, I'm going to give you 2 names. You got to give me more. Who scored more? What do you want to do? Goals or points?
That was the worst description.
I know, worst
this.
explanation. I'm sorry. I got really high around 9.
So who had more drought era scores? Do we want to do goals or total points?
Yes.
For their whole tenure of the drought or like a specific season?
It's going to be the whole tenure of the drought.
The Sabres tenure.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go points.
Go points. I like it. All right. Did We got to find guys. Sorry. All right, Sam Reinhart or Jeff Skinner?
Skinner.
I'm gonna go Reinhardt. I think it's a trick question, but I'm gonna go with Reinhardt.
It's Reinhart by 4 points.
Oh.
Yep, by 4 points. Let's see here. It is 295 to 291. Reinhardt did play 454 games as the Sabre, and Skinner only played 427. So 27 less games, 4 less points. All right, let's do Alex Tuck or Tyler Ennis.
Tyler Ennis.
I'm gonna go Tuck.
It is Tuck, 243 to 236. Tuck 243 in just 281 games.
That's really good.
Tyler Ennis, yeah, that is great. Tyler Ennis 236 and 419. Wow, I did not realize Tuck was that close to point.
Tuck is one of those guys I think that we're going to look back on and wish that we had him when we didn't have absolute turbo dog shit teams. You know, like he is such a good player on a good team, but we have just not had a good team.
I got a great one here. Zegmas Girgensons or Dylan Cousins?
Oh, fuck me. Definitely Cousins.
Girgensons was here for a decade, though.
I know. He got exactly like 13.5.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this, and you can change your mind. This is the only thing I'll give you. Is Zegmas Girgensons played 688 games as a Sabre.
Yeah, well, he was also. It's not going to make me change my mind because I also think he had like no points.
Go with the Z-Man.
Ryan is right. Dylan Cousins in 341 games had 197 points. In 688 games, Zegmas Girgensons had 188 points. It's also a
what
minus.
were we doing? What were we doing?
He was also a career minus 66.
Give me a second.
Wow.
And then when this guy leaves, it's like we talk about him like we had just lost a beloved member of our family. I mean, the guy played almost 700 hockey games and didn't even amass 200 points. I mean, what are we doing? What a dark time in Sabres hockey.
JJ Peterka or Tyler Myers?
Oh wow.
I gotta go. Peterka.
Yeah, my gut wants to say Myers, but I think it would be more surprising if Peterka had already done it, which is why I think you're asking this. So I'm going to go Peterka too.
It is Tyler Myers. It's only 151 to 150, so it's, we're close here. But Myers did 151 and 365. That's not horrible for a defenseman, man.
No,
Peterka's got 238 and 150. Man, Myers, I love.
You ever think back to like the early days of the drought when we would like hate on stuff like that, and he was actually like not bad. He was really not bad.
No, and I mean he's still in the league. You got to give him credit for that. He's still playing. And just as we said in one of the trivia questions earlier, I mean he was a Calder winner. Like he did get into a confidence thing here and needed to leave and like whatever, but. Yeah, he's played well. Like no one, you haven't heard even in the last years of Vancouver here. No one's like, oh, get him off the ice. Like, he's a steady, like second
line guy. Yep.
I have always loved him. All right, let's do 2 more. I'm gonna do. Let's do. Oh, this is a good one. Owen Power or Brian Giunta.
Let's go Power.
Yeah, I'm also going to go Power because it's going to be hilarious that it's not Giunta in all the games that he played.
It's crazy. Power only played 12 more games than him, and he had 8 more points. Power 242 games, and he's got 111 points. Also, pretty decent pace. Giunta 230 games, 103 points.
Also, while playing forward, not defense.
Yeah. All right. I have to do this guy. I have to put this guy in. Cody Hodgson or Jack Quinn.
Oh man. Listen, I swear to God, if it's Jack Quinn, I'm gonna cry. But I'm gonna say Cody Hodgson.
I thought you weren't gonna take the Hodge, and I was like, "That's your boy, Ryan."
He's got to have
I'll,
up for Quinn.
I'll go opposite just cause and say Quinn.
In 218 games, Cody Hodgson has 99 points. In 178 games, Jack Quinn has 97 points. So
Yeah.
Quinn, it will be better, but he does not have more points right now. Cody Hodgson still holding him down. And you never know. Quinn could be traded this offseason, and Hodgson could
Hold
spray
the
him
title.
off.
Listen, here's what I want to do. If we had Malcolm Subban singing the national anthem, why can't we bring Cody Hodgson back? We had signed him for a 6-year contract, 1 game, just get him to 100 points. That's it.
That's it.
Nice
That's
round
it.
number.
That's it. Well, that will do us today. Thank you for joining us. Next week, we're going to talk about it, but I think we'll end up bringing in our first guest. I think we're ready. I don't know if you guys feel you're ready. I feel like we might be ready to pop our guest virginity on this show. We'll talk about it. We'll see. Maybe you guys tune in next week. It's just us three. But we got that cool, really that awesome open now. And now we should be able to go on YouTube all over the world, and not just, but to our Bangladeshi fans, we do appreciate you, and please stick with us now that we will be big and viral throughout the world. Thank you for joining us, Chris. Have a good night, Ryan, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.